joined the church. My father's parents were always Lutherans. And the church built a new facility after the sale to the state between 15th and 16th. I think between 15th and 16th and Rio Grande and West Avenue. If I'm not correct about that, that's pretty close to it. But the original altar that we were married in front of was taken to the new church. And it's really beautiful, hand-carved altar that has the Last Supper in stained glass in the center of it, and must be seen to be appreciated. I'd like for all the family to see that sometime. And we do have snapshots taken at the wedding that show it to a certain extent.
In black and white?
Yes. Well, after the wedding, of course, I moved to New Braunfels, and I looked forward to New Braunfels because I'd enjoyed it all through my childhood, and so that probably had as much to do with my decisions as anything. And I have enjoyed living here. I'm wondering at this point, since 2011, I'm wondering what it's going to be like in a few more years, because we are going through a tremendous growth. Try to keep some of the old traditions, and when I first arrived here, you could walk in any store and strike up a conversation in German if you so desired. I remember my mother being over here, and we were walking down the street, and she said something to me in German as if she were not meaning to broadcast what she was saying. And I told her, well, of course I didn't need to tell her, she knew that anyway. But I remember saying, there's no use in speaking German, everybody else will understand this. But I was comfortable with that, and later on when I was better acquainted, I'd have people say, I didn't know you could speak German. Well, they didn't know that we had a German community in Austin too. And practically all of, I would say the majority of my parents' acquaintances and friends were in a similar situation to theirs, that they had parents or grandparents who were immigrants. Now, I had friends who weren't German at all, and never felt different because of that. But I went to school knowing English as well as German, and I was not, I was not hearing English at my grandparents' home usually, but one grandmother immigrated when she was 6 years old. So, and at the age of 50, she was a widow, had to do something to make a living, and so she was in the public eye a little bit more than some others might have been. And she was, I think both the grandmothers were, grandparents were all, made it their business to learn English, even though my father's parents were in their early 20s. Grandmother was 20, and the grandfather had his 24th birthday just after he arrived here. But they made it their business to know the language, and I'm glad that I had that opportunity to learn it. The language is fascination to me, and I've enjoyed it all my life.
Did they ever talk about the decision to come over here and the journey?
No, I wish we could have discussed that, but I think they just went on with life and didn't think about that much. I mean, of telling us about it, I just don't remember that.
Some people leave a country because of bad economics or bad governments, or because
Germany has been surrounded by other countries from day one. I mean, it has not always been a solid country. It was back in not hundreds of years has it been as a state to itself. I don't know the history of it as much as I would like to. Never had really studied that in school. But one thing, they were always crowded, and they had many wars, and so part of it, I mean, there's been a lot of immigration. Some came because they needed to for a better life financially, and it's just been a small country.
Did many come over here only to go back because they missed it so much, or?
Well, I have a letter that my grandmother, father's mother, wrote. She was 20 when she came over with 3 brothers, and one brother was already here and in Austin. He's buried out there in the same cemetery with my grandmother, not right in the same location, but in the same cemetery. And later, her mother came a year after she came, and so it's just a way. But I have a letter that she wrote to a nephew, and she mentioned that she wouldn't like to be poor in Germany, and if she could have had as